2023 has come to an end, and all the crazy stuff that has happened this year, it's enough for anyone to go. As crazy as the year has been, I thought it would be interesting to have a recap video of all the biggest moments of this year. All the good and the bad.
Oh, don't cry, are you?
And everything from pop culture to world events, politics, and many more. And by the end of this video, we can learn a lesson from 2023 that we can take to 2024 and beyond.
Oh, yeah.
Jeremy Renner really wanted to prove to the world he really was an Avenger by going up against a snowplow. Then he soon realized this is real life and got run over. He survived, but he sustained many injuries. The reason why he did it was because he was trying to save his nephew. So I guess in the end, he really did prove he really was an Avenger. CopyZilla exposed Logan Paul on his crypto zoo being a complete scam.
Got him. We fucking got him.
Logan tried making a response video to it, but it failed miserably. It was so bad, he suddenly had a change of heart and said he was going to refund all the people that invest in CryptoZoo. My man was trying really hard to top the Japanese forced apology video. The Prime Minister of Japan believes that his country might not be a functioning society due to a low rate of children being born. Plus, when you add the fact that Japan has the second highest proportion of people over the age of 65 and over, it's not looking too good. You would imagine that a collapse of a country would be something like war, famine, diseases, nuclear explosion, aliens taking over the planet. But instead, it's a bunch of people not getting any bitches. It's so bad that the Prime Minister of Japan said it's now or never. And luckily for you, I speak Japanese, so he's basically saying, stop being a pussy and get some pussy. The world of fashion is something I know very little of. If you see me in the streets, I'll be wearing the same fit as I were a cartoon character. But what is the point of being fashionable when this is the shit you see in the market? These big red boots were released in February, and you see every model, celebrity, influencer wearing this, making people believe that this Astro Boy looking ass boots were the next stage of fashion. I understand people want to try to do something different and original, and I respect people for doing that. But this is the step in the wrong direction. And if I see any of you wearing this, watch out. Susan Wojcicki stepped down as CEO of YouTube and leaving YouTube in a place where most people aren't satisfied. I know she did some good things in the platform, but my man, let's not forget all the bad things too. Adpocalypse, YouTube Rewind 2018.
Yeah.
Need I go on? Kai Cenat did a month-long subathon on Twitch, making him the most watched streamer and taking the top spot, which was previously taken by XQC, and cementing himself as one of the greatest streamers coming off the platform. The 95th annual Oscars aired, and I thought there was no way they were going to top last year's. But turns out it did, in the most wholesome way possible. Most of the awards won that night was from Everything Everywhere All at Once, including Best Director, Best Leading Actress, and Best Supporting Actress. But the ones that were wholesome and pure were from two awards, which was Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor. In one night, two people who were once forgotten in the tales of Hollywood won the night and showed the world what the meaning of an underdog can truly accomplish. Sneeko got completely mollywopped by a guy named Charlie, also known as Moist Critical, and it was another reason for people to hate on Sneeko even more, making him one of the most hated people probably in the internet. TikTok was held in Congress on whether or not it was going to be banned in America due to its potential danger and risk onto children and the misinformation it follows on TikTok, which I can agree on some parts of that. And Congress thought they ate, but really what they ate was doo-doo dog crap. Pokemon officially ended this year, sending off a generational GOAT that is Ash Ketchum and Pikachu. I'm not gonna lie, when I heard about this, I shed a tear. There was a video of the Dalai Lama doing a little bit of an EDP 459 when asking a little boy to suck on his tongue, which is already a sentence I never want to say again. He soon apologized, but that image is forever stuck in our brains. I'm sorry. The FBI arrested a 21-year-old Jack Teixeira, who was a member of the Massachusetts Air Nation Guard, for posting classified materials in a group chat. Man, the day that probably happened was crazy. Imagine in a group chat sending memes and TikToks and Reels, all the stuff that you usually do when you're in a group chat, and all of a sudden official government documents, secrets, just released in the group chat. And you're reading it all, and all of a sudden you hear sirens, and then... Due to all the advancements of AI, Hollywood was considering using AI to write scripts for future projects and use AI to scan background actors, effectively getting rid of both writers and actors. Of course, they were like, what the hell, no, and started protesting. A man who was paralyzed for 12 years walks for the very first time thanks to a Swedish team creating a neural link between the brain and spinal cord. It's honestly good to see technology being used to help people. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse released in theaters, and a lot of people use the word peak cinema for pretty much any movie that's like a 6 out of 10. But when it comes to this film, this really defines the words peak cinema. A bunch of billionaires wanted to explore the vast depths of the ocean with a poorly made submarine, and with it, having all of them dying. No hate to any of these people, but I'm sorry, if you saw this as the submarine to go into the ocean, and this being the controller, an actual gaming console controller, and you still decided to go, I don't know what to tell you, man. I hope you do good in your next life. Due to a massive Canadian wildfire, the smoke traveled to the northeast and engulfed the entirety of New York City, making the city look like Blade Runner 2049. Colin Ballinger, also known as Miranda Sings, was accused of inappropriate behavior with minors. And all of this led to one of the worst apology videos since Sienna May, which is not that long ago, by addressing all these accusations by singing and playing a ukulele.
Toxic gossip train, the locomotive's fueled with hateful accusations. Toxic gossip train, steamroll over someone's reputation.
Adam22 took the top spot of internet's most cucked when he got his wife to do a tape with another man. And then he got him on a podcast talking about the whole experience. He even said on his own podcast, by the way, me personally, I can never do this. TikTok lives have gotten weirder and weirder throughout the year. Like Twitch, you can make a lot of money in TikTok lives by donations from the audience. This weirdness turned it into a trend, which was called the NPC trend, where you can make people pretend to be NPCs and do anything NPC related for quick, cold, hard cash. This one lady managed to make bank off this. And honestly, shout outs to her. Like, I got no hate, man. Do what you gotta do, it's tough out here. Barbieheimer was the most talked about thing of this year, and it took over the whole summer. Two movies that are completely different from one another, directed by two directors that are both critically acclaimed, and movies that weren't about superheroes. These two films gained such an organic buzz that studios barely had to do any marketing. Posters were being made left to right, debates on which was going to be better, and when the movies came out, people dressed up and planned to watch both films back to back. Hollywood, as usual, has taken the wrong lessons from this and thought they can do this with pretty much any film that are different from one another. Hashtag Sawpaw? Come on, man, that's just low even for you, Hollywood. Maui suffered a huge wildfire that burned to Oahu Forest, which was home to 22 animal species. It destroyed thousands of homes, which led to many families homeless. But don't worry, guys, tourists still managed to enjoy their vacations. The Rock and Oprah tried to help Maui, and they did by donating $10 million to the Maui Relief Fund. But they also asked their audience, their people, to donate money to the Maui Relief Fund, and you already see the problem. Two people, if you combine their network, would be $2.8 billion, are asking people, the working class, to give most of the money to help out Maui.
You serious?
Obviously, some people did that, but the fact that celebrities are asking the people It's just another example of why a lot of celebrities are really out of touch. Kai Cenat held a giveaway in New York City and was planning to give away one PlayStation 5. And the next day, it turned into a big-ass riot. I mean, they were trying to fuck up the whole city all for a PlayStation 5 and the chance to meet Kai. Luckily, no one died, but 9 people got hurt and 65 people were arrested, including Kai, for inciting a riot. Plus, no one even got the PlayStation in the end. Or someone did, and they managed to reach a level 100 sneak mode. After protesting the entirety of the summer, the writer's strike officially came to an end. The SAG-AFTRA union was able to make a deal with Hollywood for better pay and that AI doesn't get their techno hands on the writing process. Mexico uncovered an alien body, and they wanted to hold a press conference to display it like it was a new Nike release. And honestly, it was really underwhelming.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
I mean, what do you expect? In these past recent years, whenever the governments of the world try to display aliens, it's always been underwhelming. Until the day we see aliens coming down from the sky, or a video in 4K high-definition surround sounds of aliens backing that ass up, Thanos style, we're gonna stay underwhelmed. On October 7th, Israel suffered an attack during a festival that killed over 1,000 people and more and took in a dozen or so people hostage. Now, as tragic as this was, it brought to light on what's going on in Palestine. That for over 75 years, Palestine has been dealing with a state of oppression and occupation due to Israel. And because of this, millions of people all over the world started protesting, demanding a ceasefire, and saying their most famous chant, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." Now, there's more to cover on this, and I will do so in the end. Jada Pinkett Smith came out saying that prior to the slap, Will and her weren't even together. They've been separated since 2016. So essentially, that slap was for nothing. And then Jada started yapping. She tried her absolute best to further divide the relationship between her and Will. She said stuff like, her and Tupac were soulmates, that they were meant to be. The audience and myself left dumbfounded. Then we realized, oh wait, she has a book coming out and she's trying to promote it. This is the best way to do it. And also, for some reason, this is the cover of the book. What is she trying to do? Do an impression of Gru of Despicable Me? Or the Man of Evolution? Lil Tay has been talked about again this year. It first started off that her family broke the news that her and her little brother passed away. But it turns out it was all fake. Because a couple of weeks later, she started to release music. And all of this was just to jumpstart her career again. But karma came in clutch because she was forgotten all over again. The KSI and Tommy Fury fight happened this month, and although Tommy won the fight, he did so barely. This face from Tyson Fury says it all. Logan and Dylan Dennis also had their fight, and this was more hyped up than Tommy and KSI because Dylan, before the fight, has been dogpiling on Logan's fiancée. And let's just say, Logan can finally celebrate a win in boxing. Microsoft was able to completely buy out Activision Blizzard King for $69 billion. It became the biggest buyout in gaming history. So who knows, maybe Xbox can be interesting again under Microsoft. Jharkhand in northwest Nepal suffered a 5.6 magnitude earthquake. The earthquake killed 175 people and left thousands of people homeless and spending many nights in the bitter cold. The actor strike also came to an end when SAG was able to make a deal with its actors, that being the same deal as the writers: better pay and no AI. The trailer of GTA 6 finally came out with all its glory, and honestly, it was a great looking trailer. It showed the first ever female protagonist in the GTA franchise, and some people weren't happy about it. They thought GTA was going woke, and that it was going to flop because of it, and all bunch of other yapping. The one thing I would say I don't like is the fact that we have to wait until 2025, but hey, peak takes time. Andre Braugher, best known for his role as Captain Holt in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, died at the age of 61 due to a brief illness that he suffered. He was too young, man. Rest in peace. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Thanks to Duke Dennis and Kai Cenat, Riz became the Oxford Word of the Year. A Tesla robot malfunctions and it brutally attacks an engineer. Another example of why the robot apocalypse is happening, y'all. It's gonna be happening sooner than you think. Now finally, what's going on in Palestine? After the events of October 7th, Israel has been bombarding Palestine indiscriminately with airstrikes and carpet bombing. They've also cut off access to electricity, water, and food. And when you add all of that, almost 22,000 people, 11,000 of them being children, 5,000 of them being women, 481 health personnels, and 101 journalists, which is the most journalists have been killed in any sort of conflict or war in history. The reason why they're doing all of this is that Israel believes that Hamas are in Palestine as we speak. And the only way to do it is bombing the hell out of them. Due to all the bombing, Palestinians have been fleeing for their lives, trying to survive. The UN says that more than 90% of Gaza's 2.3 million people have been displaced, and many of them have been fleeing for 3 or 4 times at this point, which is horrific to even imagine. And even if they do flee from the bombing, a lot of them end up dying due to starvation, illness, diseases, or the injuries they have sustained because of the bombing. But I don't know about you, all of this reminds me of a certain word that involves the displacement, ethnic cleansing, and killing of many, many people. Now, Israel thinks that this is all self-defense. And to that I say, poppycock. Self-defense would be like if I punched you in the face and you punched me back or even beat the crap out of me, that would be self-defense. But if I punch you in the face and you decide to beat the hell out of me and then obliterate my entire bloodline, is that really self-defense? Is it? I don't think so. Look, I got one thing to say about this. I don't know everything of what's going on, but what I do know is that the Palestinians are the ones that are oppressed. And when history comes a-knocking, when they write all of this down and teach it to the kids in the next generations, a question is going to be asked onto you. Were you on the side of the oppressed or the oppressor? That's all, folks. That's all.